Alex wiped the sweat from his forehead as he stepped back from the relay station. The evening sun of Thalor 9 painted the rocky horizon in orange and violet streaks. He loved this planet in a way he couldn't explain. It was harsh, wild, and completely unpredictable. Life here was dangerous, but that danger brought purpose. Every day was a challenge, and every challenge made him feel alive. He had built his small habitat at the edge of the settlement with his own hands, and though it was modest, it was safe. Mostly. Out here, safety was never guaranteed. After a long day repairing the communication relays, Alex trudged back across the dusty plain, his boots kicking up small clouds of sand. The wind was cold, carrying hints of the strange flora and distant wildlife that called this planet home. He had gotten used to the unusual scents and sounds over the years, but tonight, there was something different. Something he couldn't immediately place. As he reached the entrance to his habitat, he noticed movement in the doorway. His first thought was that one of the other colonists had come by, but the settlement was quiet, and visitors were rare this late. He slowed, squinting into the shadows, and froze. There was a figure leaning casually against the frame of his door. The figure was a woman, or at least humanoid, but she wasn't human. Her skin shimmered faintly, like sunlight bouncing off water, and faint glowing patterns ran across her arms and neck. Her hair floated slightly, as if underwater, and her eyes reflected colors Alex didn't know existed. She wasn't wearing anything, yet there was no trace of threat or menace in her posture. Instead, she leaned with complete confidence, one arm bent casually above her head, the other resting against her side, and a playful grin on her face. "Well, say something," she said, her voice musical and clear, cutting through the evening air. Alex's brain short-circuited. He opened his mouth, closed it, and stared. This wasn't just another human colonist. He had never seen anyone like her. Every instinct screamed at him to be cautious, but curiosity held him rooted in place. Hi?" he finally managed, his voice hoarse and uncertain. "Can I help you?" The alien tilted her head slightly, studying him with sharp, intelligent eyes. "You can," she said simply. "But first you must understand me." Alex swallowed, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. I don't even know what to say." "That is acceptable," she replied with a smirk. "You are human. You are cautious. That is good." Alex blinked. "Wait, how do you know I'm human?" The woman laughed softly. "I can see it. Your patterns, your energy, they are different from my people. Your kind is fascinating." Alex took a cautious step back, putting his hand on the doorframe for support. "Your people? What are you?" "My name is Lyra," she said. "I come from far beyond this planet. I am here because your colony is in danger." Alex frowned. "Danger? What kind of danger?" Before she could answer, a distant rumble echoed across the plain. Alex froze. He had heard many strange sounds on Thalor 9, but this one felt different, larger, heavier, and approaching fast. Lyra's eyes gleamed with amusement. "You see," she said, "there is no time to explain everything now, but you will need to act quickly." Alex's pulse quickened. "Act quickly? Act how? I don't even know what you are." Lyra's grin widened. "That will come in time. For now, trust me, human. Will you?" He hesitated. Every logical part of him screamed to retreat, to call for help, or even run. But something about her presence, her confidence, her calm in the face of unknown danger, made him pause. There was no malice in her eyes, only clarity. Okay, he said finally. "I'll trust you, for now." Her grin softened and she straightened, stepping slightly aside to reveal more of the doorway. "Good. You are brave. That is the first step." The rumble grew louder. Alex could feel the vibrations through the ground. Dust swirled around the habitat, and the thin walls rattled slightly. He turned toward the source and saw a shadow moving across the horizon, massive, looming, and fast. Whatever it was huge. "It's coming closer," Alex said, his voice tight with concern. "Then we should prepare," Lyra said, her eyes sparkling with energy. She stepped past him into the habitat, moving with a fluid grace that made Alex momentarily forget about the danger outside. What are you doing?" he asked, following her inside. "Helping you survive," she replied simply. "I will not let you perish if you listen to me." Over the next few minutes, Lyra guided Alex through a series of preparations. She didn't use words he understood at first. Her commands were sharp, quick, almost instinctual, but he followed, trusting her judgment. She showed him how to reinforce the habitat's walls using portable shields he didn't know he had, how to redirect power from his small solar array to defensive systems, and even how to set up simple traps outside. Alex marveled at her knowledge. She seemed to know the terrain, the technology, and even the behavior of whatever creature was approaching. Every instruction she gave was precise, yet she explained nothing about herself, only what needed to be done. "You work well," she said, noticing him adjusting the power grid. "Your kind is clever, faster than I expected." "Thanks, I think," Alex said, trying to keep his focus on the tasks. His mind was racing with questions, but there was no time for answers. The ground shook again, harder this time. Dust fell from the ceiling. Alex and Lyra exchanged a glance. Whatever was out there. It was enormous, and it was coming closer by the second. "Ready?" Lyra asked, her voice calm, almost teasing, as though she enjoyed the challenge. "As ready as I'll ever be," Alex replied, gripping a reinforced panel he intended to use as a shield. The first shadow appeared over the ridge, a massive silhouette, towering over the settlement, its movement sending smaller rocks tumbling across the plains. Its form was strange, alien, and almost mechanical in parts, but alive in others. Alex's heart pounded. He had never seen a creature like this, and he doubted anyone else on the colony had either. "Stay calm," Lyra said, placing a hand lightly on his shoulder. "You are stronger than you think. Your courage will guide you." Alex blinked. "Stronger? I'm just one person." "You are not just one person," she said, her tone unwavering. "You represent all of your kind, and right now, we have no other choice but to act." She moved with lightning speed, activating one of the traps Alex had set outside. A net of energy pulsed outward, creating a temporary barrier between the creature and the habitat. The monster roared, a sound that shook the ground and rattled Alex's teeth. Its eyes glowed faintly in the dim light, scanning for movement. Alex's fear surged, but so did his determination. He followed Lyra's instructions, adjusting energy flows, opening vents, and triggering defensive mechanisms. Together, they created a perimeter, holding the creature at bay. "You're amazing," Alex said breathlessly as he ducked a sweeping claw that had just grazed the habitat wall. "I am only useful because you are here," Lyra said, her grin returning. "Your mind, your skills, your instincts, they are what make this possible. Humans are remarkable creatures. You forget sometimes." Alex swallowed, heart racing. I didn't think I could do this, but I guess I can." "Exactly," she said softly. "You are capable of far more than you know. That is why I came to you. Not everyone could manage this." The creature roared again, more aggressively this time. It was testing them, gauging their defenses. Alex and Lyra worked in sync, each step calculated, each action deliberate. Slowly, they began to see cracks in the creature's approach, weaknesses in its movements. Hours passed, or perhaps minutes. Alex had lost track of time. By the dim light of the evening and the glow of the alien's markings, They continued their battle of wits and strength. And through it all, Alex realized something important. This wasn't just about surviving. It was about proving to himself, and perhaps to all humanity, that humans could rise to challenges no one expected them to. Finally, the creature paused, evaluating its inability to breach their defenses. With a final, earth-shaking roar, it retreated across the plain, disappearing into the distance. Dust settled around them, and the wind carried away the last echoes of its footsteps. Alex sank to the floor, exhausted but alive. Lyra stood beside him, her expression calm, almost proud. "You did well," she said simply. "Very well." I couldn't have done this without you," Alex said, looking at her. His mind was still buzzing with adrenaline, questions, and disbelief. "Perhaps," Lyra replied. "But you led, you acted, and you survived. That is what matters. Remember this moment, human. You have more within you than you realize, and soon you will see why I came." Alex nodded, still trying to process everything. There were so many questions, so much mystery surrounding Lyra and her people. But for the first time in his life on this planet, he felt a spark of something more: hope, courage, and a sense that humans, even alone on a distant world, could truly make a difference. The night deepened, and the stars of Thalor 9 shimmered overhead. Alex sat against the wall of his habitat, watching Lyra move gracefully through the room, her gaze always sharp, always aware. For the first time, he realized he wasn't alone. And whatever challenges lay ahead, he knew he would face them, not just for himself, but for humanity. The night air was still, but Alex couldn't relax. The creature had retreated. Yet its presence lingered in every shadow outside his habitat. His muscles ached, his mind buzzed, and he could feel every heartbeat echoing in his chest. Lyra moved beside him, calm and composed, as if the battle had been nothing more than a small challenge for her. "You've done well, Alex," she said quietly. "But the danger is not gone. That creature was only a scout. Others may come, larger, smarter, and more dangerous." Alex swallowed hard, trying to process the words. "Others? How do you know?" Lyra looked toward the horizon, her glowing eyes scanning the darkness. "I have been tracking the species for a long time. They are intelligent, territorial, and highly adaptive. Your colony is in their path. If we do nothing, they will destroy everything." Alex ran a hand through his hair, frustration and fear mixing with determination. "So, what do we do?" She smiled, a small curve of her lips, and for a moment she looked almost human in her expression. "We prepare, we fight, we survive. And in the process, you will learn more about yourself than you ever imagined." He stared at her. He had fought hard to survive harsh environments before, but nothing compared to this. This wasn't just about engineering or quick thinking. It was about strategy, courage, and pushing beyond limits. And somehow, with Lyra by his side, he felt capable. For the next several hours, they worked together to strengthen the colony's defenses. Lyra moved with precision, directing Alex to reinforce walls, deploy traps, and reroute energy to defensive systems. Every instruction was clear, but also strange. She used gestures and symbols he didn't recognize, yet somehow he understood. "You humans are clever," she said at one point, watching him figure out a complex adjustment to the energy shields. "Cleverer than I expected. Your species adapts quickly when it must." Alex felt a rush of pride, but also curiosity. "Lyra, why are you helping us? Why me? You said you came to find someone brave enough." "Why me?" Her glowing patterns pulsed faintly, almost like a heartbeat. "Because you were the one who did not hesitate. Many would have run, argued, or failed to act. But you faced the situation you thought and you acted. That is rare. That is why I chose you." He looked at her, trying to understand. You chose me? For what? You are human, she said simply, and humans are remarkable. Your species can think, adapt, and create in ways many cannot. I need someone like you to lead, to survive, and to teach others. You represent your kind more than you know. Alex felt both honored and overwhelmed. Lead? Teach? I'm just me. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Lyra stepped closer, placing a hand lightly on his arm. It was not threatening, not intimate in a human sense, just grounding. You are ready. You just do not realize it yet. You will see soon. They continued their preparations, moving silently through the darkened corridors of the colony. The night was tense, every sound outside making Alex's heart race. But with Lyra's guidance, he learned to anticipate, to plan, and to act quickly. They set up early warning systems, reinforced shelters, and even created decoys to mislead any creatures that might approach. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, the settlement seemed almost peaceful. The wind blew gently across the plains, carrying the scent of alien plants and the distant calls of wildlife. Alex paused, taking a deep breath. He had survived the night, and he had learned more about his own abilities than he had ever thought possible. But peace was fleeting. A sharp alarm cut through the air, a warning system Lyra had helped him set up. Something large was moving across the plains. This time, it wasn't a scout. It was the main force. Alex's pulse quickened. Lyra, it's them, the others. She nodded, her expression serious now. Yes, they have been drawn here, but we can face them, together. The creatures emerged from the shadows. There were 3 of them, massive and imposing, each one larger than the scout from the night before. Their movements were deliberate, almost intelligent, and their glowing eyes focused on the settlement. Alex could feel the ground vibrate under their steps. Stay calm, Lyra said, placing her hand on his shoulder again. Observe. They have patterns. Every creature does. Alex nodded, forcing himself to focus. He began to notice details, the way the creatures moved, the pauses between their steps, the way their heads tilted to survey the area. He remembered Lyra's words from the previous night. Humans are clever. They adapt. They survive. Working together, Alex and Lyra coordinated the colony's defenses. Energy barriers activated in sequence, traps deployed at strategic points, and decoy signals misled the creatures. Each time a creature approached a trap, it was delayed, giving the humans more time to react. Good, Lyra said, watching him adjust the shields with steady hands. You are learning quickly. Faster than most. Alex felt a surge of confidence. I think I can do this. I just need to stay focused. Hours passed in a tense battle of wits and endurance. The creatures were persistent, adaptive, and powerful, but Alex and Lyra's coordination held them at bay. The humans in the colony began to emerge from shelters, rallying around Alex's leadership. It was not just him, it was the combination of human ingenuity and alien guidance that kept the settlement safe. Finally, as the sun rose higher in the sky, the creatures seemed to hesitate. They roared, a sound that shook the plains, then slowly began to retreat, moving back toward the wilderness from which they had come. Alex sank to the ground, exhausted but alive. Lyra stood beside him, her glowing patterns dimming slightly, a sign of relief. You did it, she said softly. All of it. You led them, human. You protected your people. Alex looked at her, disbelief and pride mixing in his chest. We did it together. I couldn't have managed without you. You were always capable, she said, smiling. I only guided. But yes, together we succeeded. For the first time, Alex allowed himself to see the bigger picture. This was not just about survival. It was about what humans could achieve. courage, intelligence, adaptability. These were qualities that defined them, and in combination with other species, they could face challenges no one had ever imagined. As the settlement began to recover from the night's events, Lyra turned to Alex. "There is more you must understand. My people have been observing humanity for a long time. We seek those capable of leadership, bravery, and insight. You have proven you are one of them." Alex swallowed, still processing everything. "So, you've been watching us all along? Why? For what purpose?" "Because your kind is special," she said simply. "You can survive in ways others cannot. You can create solutions, protect others, and adapt to circumstances that would overwhelm many. That is why I came to find you. You are part of something larger now, something that will change the future." Alex's mind raced. He had spent years on this remote planet, thinking his life was ordinary. But now he realized that the universe was far bigger than he had imagined. And humans, even one person on a distant frontier world, could make a difference that reached far beyond themselves. "Lyra, what happens now?" he asked quietly. "You continue to lead," she replied. "You teach others what you have learned. You prepare for what is coming next, and one day you may join us beyond this planet, among the stars, where your courage and intelligence will be needed again." Alex nodded, understanding at last. This encounter was not a random accident. It was a test, a challenge, and a lesson in human potential. He had faced danger, uncertainty, and fear, and emerged stronger. He had discovered that humans could achieve greatness when pushed beyond limits, especially when guided by wisdom, even from other species. As the colony began to rebuild and the sun climbed higher in the sky, Alex stood at the edge of the settlement with Lyra by his side. The plains stretched endlessly before them, full of danger, mystery, and possibility. He felt a sense of pride and determination unlike anything he had ever known. "Humans are capable of remarkable things," Lyra said, her voice soft and steady. "Remember this, human. You are not alone, and your kind is stronger than you realize." Alex looked at her, then at the settlement he had protected, and finally at the vast horizon. "I'll remember," he said, "and I'll make sure we're ready for whatever comes next." For the first time in his life on Thalor 9, Alex felt truly powerful, not because of weapons or technology, but because he had discovered the strength within himself. He had survived, he had led, and he had proven that humans, even on the edge of the galaxy, could rise to any challenge. The stars above glimmered faintly as a new day began. Alex and Lyra stood together, watching, knowing that the adventure was only just beginning and that humanity's true potential had only begun to shine. And with that, Alex realized that the universe was no longer just a vast, empty expanse. It was a place where humans could make a difference, where courage and intelligence could change destinies, and where he, a single engineer on a remote planet, had already begun to shape the future.